What is soft power? And does Britain punch above its weight in the world? Hi, I'm Bob the Officer Tutor, and welcome to the first video from Army and Education. Before being able to answer these questions, I want to begin by looking at the analytical frameworks which we can use to help us understand the wicked nature of the issues we'll encounter, whether in this video or in subsequent videos which will be looking at the nature of warfare, security, international relations, or leadership. Critical thinking is vital to officers and NCOs in understanding the world around them. So the MOD has published JDP 04, Understanding and Decision Making. This is actually a really good read, so I'd recommend that you have a look at it. But not to give too much of the game away, the JDP shows a load of different frameworks that can be used. You can see them on the screen right now, and because there aren't quite enough acronyms there, they'll often be supplemented with another. DIME. Now, if given the opportunity, and these videos are going to give me plenty of opportunity, I like to blow my own trumpet a bit. So I'll be introducing you to the world according to Bob, and I'll be doing this through Bob's triangle. We'll come on to that in a moment, but first I want you to notice that within the models, the political, social, and economic factors are the three most common categories. In my opinion, that's because these are the ones that really matter, and all the rest sort of hang off those, a bit like toys on a baby's mobile. These three areas are interlinked, and you can now see them in my triangle. What you'll notice is it's that the economy is the one that is on the base. That's because, and not to quote Bill Clinton too heavily, it's the economy stupid. It's been suggested that wars begin for money. But the reality is that unless it's a really short conflict, they actually damage both a country's economy and its general standing in the world. No, wars are more often fought due to a perceived threat. Power is a zero-sum game, but it's constantly moving, and if it slides too far away from you and moves too far towards someone that you fear, then you're going to get physically aggressive. It's better for all concerned to be nice to one another. That way, you're not seen as a threat, and you can actually increase your own influence and improve your trade and your economy whilst benefiting the region as a whole. This is kind of what soft power is. It's gaining power and influence, but without aggression. Now, I don't want to open up the can of worms that's Brexit, but it's important to note that trade deals matter, and they're an important element of soft power. So important that governments may turn a blind eye to the actions of, shall we say, morally dubious partners. With a GDP of just over $12 trillion, China is the world's second largest economy, and it's poised to overtake the US next year in 2020. We need to deal with her, and we do. In fact, just recently, Theresa May secured deals worth over £9 billion. Furthermore, Huawei is one of the key bidders in helping to develop the UK's 5G network, something that we're hoping will really benefit our economy. But this is where things start to get tricky from a security perspective. One of the real strengths of the UK's security network is its membership of the Five Eyes community, with the US, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, and the UK all sharing loads of information with each other. But the US has become really wary of China as its economy has grown. Also, the US is wanting to upload all of its national security data to the cloud. Google has just won this contract, and that's one of the reasons why Google's products will no longer work with Huawei, and also why Britain's delaying the Huawei deal, as it's a very real possibility that America could kick Britain out of the Five Eyes network if it was still working with Huawei and posing a perceived threat to American security. In the words of the SDSR, boosting our economy allows us to promote our influence, but global influence can also be found in each of the other three elements of my triangle. Socially, we export our culture through our language, but the BBC World Service and the British Council also have a real impact. Not to mention DFID with its really subtle branding. Politically, in the SDSR, it boasts that, in addition to having embassies in 84 different countries, we're the only country who's a member of the G7, a member of the Commonwealth, a member of NATO, and not just that, but holding the key position of Deputy Supreme Allied Commander Europe. On top of this, we're also a member of the United Nations Security Council. In fact, we're one of the 5 permanent members of this. Also, well, we're a member of all these organizations. We may not be able to invest in as much in other countries as China, for example, but our soft power is impressive. Joseph Nye described soft power as being made up of political values, foreign policy, and culture. Softpower30.com break this down a little more, and in their analysis, Britain actually tops the poll, with China trailing behind in 27th place, despite investing more in foreign loans than the IMF and World Bank combined. So there you go. Through soft power, Britain definitely punches above its weight in the world. But this comes with commitments. Whilst it's best to walk softly, we must also carry a big stick. And the next video in this series will be touching on hard power, and we'll be looking at how strategic thinkers have viewed warfare. Like the sound of that? Then hit subscribe and you'll be notified as to when the videos are getting uploaded. Liked this video? Then click like, and please feel free to add a comment below. These will benefit the discussions that I have with my groups when I teach this subject in various courses. Thanks for listening, and I hope you join in next time.